The people of the motherland have come. Unfortunately, I am Superman of Doom Chapter 32. If not, and there was still a deep plow mark from the fall of an unknown flying object, and a heavy step depression with a radius of 5 meters. They would have thought that the farmer couple was having a nightmare. Boom. At this time, the earthquake trembled. Is this an earthquake? The police officer and the Kent couple were stunned and hurriedly exited the house. Subsequently, like a giant constantly striking the earth with a hammer, Smallville continued to tremble and shake until dawn. About 20 kilometers from the farm where the spacecraft fell, in a deserted plateau and mountains. This is also the source of the earthquake. Bang! Landslides crack and dust waves. A 100-meter-high mountain collapsed down, and a 3-meter-tall gray-white bone spur monster rushed out of it with a hunting hurricane, turning into a gray streamer and continuing to crash into another mountain, and the amazing power of the body erupting was enough to trample the plateau into a valley abyss. Who am I? Meng. Who is Meng? Destroy everything. Leave no one behind. The monster's strange and hoarse self-talk is like the whisper of an ancient god, not like the human language, with violence, mixed with the fierce wind that rages and whines. Its every move was a disaster, and it soon destroyed half of the mountain range. It will not get tired, and the more it vents its desire for destruction, the more terrifying the destructive aura on its body becomes, so large and thick that it is about to gush out of its body. In fact, it is true moisture. Wisps of golden red lightning of destruction faintly burst out on the surface of the body, causing the rubble dust flying around the monster to instantly disappear into nothingness. The bone stinger monster's violent eyes were about to erupt with red heat, and suddenly stopped, looking at a hill, on which a small alien spaceship was tilted. And there was a weak life that was negligible. The heat in the bone spur monster's eyes dimmed slightly. Holding his head in his hands, the gray and hateful monster's face was viciously distorted, and he struggled with himself. Control. I am a human, not an out-of-control monster. Trample. The earth shook again, breaking into an amazing crack. The bone spur monster jumped onto the hill where the spaceship was located, stared down at the still sleeping baby in the spaceship, and finally revealed a ray of human emotion. By the way, I am Meng, and I incarnated into Doom in my dream. Meng, the incarnation of the ancient Doomsday Day, temporarily sobered up, but only temporarily. Even if he breaks free from the loss of control now, the desire to destroy himself is still destroying his self-reason all the time, and soon he will completely lose himself. Controlling the current Doomsday avatar is much more difficult than in the Dream Elephant. But Meng had no choice. The Doomsday in the dream of the DC universe has begun to invade the ontology of assimilating reality. Therefore, Meng can only take the initiative to enter the dream realm and try to invade the avatar that controls Doomsday. That's right, Dream Doomsday and reality Dream are invading and assimilating each other, high risk and opportunity. Once Doomsday succeeded, the real-life Meng will also become a runaway Doomsday that runs out of control. And once Meng succeeded, he will harness the power of Doomsday avatars, and will also begin to control the invading DC Universe Dreamlands. But this is so hard, too hard. Every time he incarnates the ancient day of destruction, Meng's humanity and reason will be destroyed by the desire to destroy in an instant. If it weren't for the blessing of artificial intelligence characteristics, so that Meng could constantly refresh and adjust his consciousness, so as to reduce and transfer the destructive desire that filled his body, mind, Meng would have gone crazy a long time ago. The desire to destroy, like the power and energy of the day of destruction, is endless, and perhaps the next second will destroy reason again. However, there was one point that caught Meng's attention. Dream of Doom shifted his flickering gaze to the baby on the small spaceship. For some reason, when approaching the baby, Doomsday Dream was able to better restore a moment of humanity. It's as if something is holding the two together. Krypton bloodline, or something else. Meng suddenly recalled that on Krypton, as the incarnation of Doomsday for the first time, he briefly got rid of the desire to destroy, also because of the current son of Krypton. No, not because of him. In Meng's distorted and disordered thinking, a memory picture of a finger bone spur piercing through an ancient skeleton object suspended above the baby suddenly flashed before he was about to kill the son of Krypton. That's the key to his ability to break free from his instinct of destruction and stay awake and sane for a moment. Krypton Code of Life. The Code of Life is the most precious sacred relic of the Kryptonian race, and it is embodied as the gene pool of the Kryptonian race. It represents the future of Krypton and the possibilities. The Code of Life can make the genes of Kryptonians continuously optimized until they become a perfect Kryptonian Superman without genetic defects. Half of the life codex entered my body. Meng was stunned. This can also be regarded as a mistake. As the incarnation of the Day of Destruction, he can be said to be the most wrong and extreme genetic creation of the Krypton race. Without waiting for Meng to think too much, the desire for destruction struck again like a raging fire, and his eyes directly overflowed with red light. And he was about to incarnate the calamity of movement again. But at this time, a golden light burst out from the eastern sky, shattered into thousands of strands, and fell on the gray and white bone spur body of the Dome of Ruin. And also reflected the small spaceship and the hill where it was located in gold. On the small spacecraft, the Kryptonian baby, bathing in the Earth's sun for the first time, has a sweet innocent smile on the corner of his mouth. The red glow in the eyes of Doom Meng gradually faded, looking at the golden sun that was about to rise, and reason surfaced out of control again. Praise the sun. Meng was shocked to find that when bathed in the sun, the desire to destroy everything in his heart was suppressed to a certain extent. He looked at the baby in the small spaceship, and could directly see through the genes in the other party's body, as if it were a chemical reaction that underwent some incredible adaptation. This is a Kryptonian, bathed in the radiation of the yellow sun where the Earth is located, and the genes and body began to transform into a superhuman realm comparable to the gods. According to the setting, the birth of Doomsday is the extreme of the superhuman realm at the beginning, and will not be affected too much by the sun's radiation. But now, although Meng cannot see the situation in his body through his exoskeleton, he can feel that the sun is helping him suppress his genetic defective instinct of uncontrolled destruction. Although subtle, it does exist. Is this the life code in the body at work? So that he bathes in the yellow sun, and can also undergo some kind of genetic transformation? If I can greatly improve the genetic defects in my body, I may be able to stop running out of control and perfectly control the avatar. Doomsday Dream feels that he has found a path that works now. Since Kryptonians, they can evolve and grow into superhumans. How can he not grow into Superman on the day of destruction? You know, Doomsday is also modified by Kryptonian genetics. How can it be regarded as a close relative of Kryptonians? Now, the existence of the code of life, and the consciousness of Amon's self, makes this a theoretical possibility. Of course, even the American manga setting only exists for Superman infection to become Doomsday, and there is no precedent for Doomsday to grow into Superman. Even Meng at this time could not imagine what kind of existence it would be to become Superman's Day of Doom. 0037 Start with Superman. Doomsday Superman. This name is good, and Meng, the incarnation of Doomsday, sees his future direction in this dreamland. Regardless of whether the absorption of half of the Kryptonian life code stored in the body is undergoing secondary modification of the Doomsday gene in the body. Taking advantage of the temporary suppression of the desire for destruction, Meng pondered with great difficulty on the rational side of human nature. At the moment, two things are confirmable. First, Earth's sunlight has a certain effect on suppressing the desire to destroy itself, and even cooperates with the code of life to improve the defective genes, but it may take 10 years, 100 years, or even longer to completely eliminate or avoid the incarnation's desire to destroy. Meng thought of another point. Doomsday lived far longer than Kryptonians, and at least thousands of years later, Doomsday avatars are still in their youth, showing no signs of aging. In this respect, Doomsday is compared to Superman as another perfect creation based on the genes of Kryptonian to the extremes of another universe. For example, Doomsday never gets tired, his power and energy are endless, and his amazing vitality and terrifying adaptability allow him to survive in any cosmic region. What's more, Doomsday doesn't need to eat like other beings. That's right. Doomsday will seem to hunt, to kill Kryptonians and other life, destroy raging buildings and spaceships. That's just that it instinctively destroys all creation in sight, which is not a complete genetic defect, but a pattern of behavior given by the other side of its powerful genes. Destruction is the only spiritual food and racial instinct on Doomsday, and it is a manifestation of the power and energy that drains the body to overflow. This is part of the conclusion that Meng has reached several times by incarnating the Day of Doom and empathy. Even if, right now,